The American version of patriarchy depends on women to be double brainwashed. It's the recent 50-50 discourse that really has me thinking about this, especially as a Slavic woman. There's a reason why Slavic women typically don't date 50-50, and it's because never in my life have I been told that a man is a prize. I've always been taught that a man is like a risky investment. Not only do you want to pick a good one, but you also kind of have to count on things going wrong. Like, we're the ones that came up with the whole his money is our money and my money is my money. That Slavic women came up with that because we have a hyper realistic understanding of the patriarchy and feminism, for what we owe to each other, so to speak, under these systems. And so we were never taught that a man is a prize, whereas American women have been taught, mind you, by way of completely butchered fairy tales in which men were actually trying to warn us. Like, if anyone has read the non-Disney versions of like the Brothers Grimm and Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales, you know what I'm talking about. Basically, Disney took these cautionary tales and turned them into happily ever afters in order to brainwash women about what the patriarchy is. And then further down the line, American women also got brainwashed about what feminism is. And it's basically this 50-50 in a vacuum conversation where nobody cares that men don't risk pregnancy, unaliving during the birthing process, or nobody talks about the societal expectations on women to like be beautiful and wear makeup and do their hair and wear heels and have lots of different outfits, whereas a man is considered like stoic and cool and rugged if he has like one pair of jeans and like two different shirts. That never stops him from wanting a very high maintenance woman. And even worse, it doesn't stop him from nagging her about needing money for those things. That's the 50-50 in a vacuum conversation, is that men want high maintenance women, but they don't want to pay for the maintenance and have the nerve to say you're not a feminist, or have the nerve to say you should just pay for those things yourself, or, you know, why are you always asking me for money? And then furthermore, they will also nag you for not being the hot, fun, carefree woman that they married. So there's just like layers of nagging and gaslighting for American women, no matter what they do. And I think it's very important that we have these conversations. It's like taboo to talk about things like that in America because women are told that, oh, this makes you less feminist. It's basically the worst type of nagging, gaslighting, and bullying. And so it's like no wonder that I literally got fresh off the boat in America, right? Airplane, and I could literally like feel there was a different aura in the air. Like the men, it was kind of like when Ken arrives in the real world and he realizes that everything is like patriarchy. Like, that was me, because I really was like, oh, like these women are extra brainwashed because they think that being with like a poor man is a prize. In my country, that is a punishment. Like, in my country, that is a woman's worst fate. In my country, that is properly described and like regarded as the prison that it is. Whereas in America, it's framed as love and loyalty and like a good relationship. It makes so much sense that American women keep falling for this because nobody wants to say the truth about men. And more importantly, nobody wants to say the truth about women and about how much women do and contribute. If you were to ask yourself, like really ask yourself, what are these men bringing to the table for them to be asking you to pay 50% of the bills as a woman? What would your life actually look like with a 50-50 man? Like, when you wake up in the morning, what can you count on him having done for you? He's taking 50% of the money from you. What is he bringing to the table? Is your laundry going to be done in the mornings? Is your dinner going to be cooked after work? Are your appointments going to be made by him? Is he a good conversational partner? Does he know how to give you an O in bed? Or is that like also something that American women have been brainwashed into, to say that, oh, it feels good anyway. Oh, I don't need an O. Legit crazy. Like, at least acknowledge that men are bad in bed. You know what I mean? Like, the performance for the male gaze is like, and I know this is ironic for me to say as a Slavic woman, but the performance for the male gaze is very out of hand in this country. You can go to my country in like middle of a winter and women will be walking around with like heels and mini skirts and like makeup done, hair done, etc. But the way that women perform for the male gaze in America is still shocking to me, especially in those like weird inverted ways, right? Where they're almost like cosplaying a man to try and get into a man's pants. Like, It's so weird and nobody talks about this. The whole cool girl stereotype, the whole like, I'm not like one of the other girls stereotype. And listen, we've all been there. The closest we've come to actually talking about this is the Amy Dunn cool girl monologue from Gone Girl. Thank you, Gillian Flynn, for that. You have changed a generation. I firmly believe that. But it's like that's the closest we've come to the same kind of conversations that Slavic women have been having for thousands of years. Even a woman's presence is beneficial to a man. We know the scientific statistics for that. Men don't live as long when they're single. What amount of money could you ever put on that? Like this has to be brainwashing. This has to be like a propaganda campaign that happened to work really well. At this point, like the women are absolutely under spells. 50-50 dating is not feminism. It's actually double brainwash. It is the patriarchy and it is patriarchal feminism at best. This is basically why it turns out to be the same thing at the end of the day. Like either way, women are being held to a way higher standard than men. Like we already know that about the patriarchy, but it's also this version of American feminism that basically gives men even more unfettered, parasitic, insidious access to women who are like none the wiser because they're thinking that it's feminism, but it's really just the patriarchy all over again, just like in a different way, because it still assumes that the man is the prize. Like under feminism, the thing we haven't eradicated in America, and why the decenter men conversation is so important, why being like radically selfish as a woman is so important, especially in America, is because like that's the one thing that we haven't really rooted out. The idea that a man could ever possibly be a prize to a woman under these current circumstances that men have set up. Feminism can't really exist under patriarchy. And we keep trying to make it exist. And like in America, women haven't come to the right conclusion yet. That if feminism and patriarchy have to coexist, then feminism has to benefit women the same way that the patriarchy benefits men, unfairly. Like men always want to go tit for tat until it comes to this conversation, which is basically a version of the reparations conversation that white people also love to run away from. But it's true. It doesn't make it any less true. It kind of goes to show how futile these like radical movements are when they're being performed without the acknowledgement of the initial oppression. Stay safe out there. I love you. Mwah.